Dear Journal, hello again. It's been about 3 years since I last spoke to you. Today was the day of constant traveling, where a course of 3 flights involving 2 planes within a period of 17 hours occurred, not to mention a pit stop in Ghana, all in an effort to make it to Johannesburg in South Africa, where I'm writing to you right now. I'm also very exhausted, but there are many amazing things to come to witness and experience on the great return to Africa. Until tomorrow, this is Ian signing off.
Igqirha lendlela nguqongqothwane igqirha lendlela kuthiwa nguqongqothwane igqirha lendlela haya nguqongqothwane igqirha lendlela kuthiwa nguqongqothwane haya seleqabele gqithapho haya nguqongqothwane selequbule gqithapho nguqongqothwane seleqabele gqithapho haya nguqongqothwane selequbule gqithapho nguqongqothwane.
Pleased to finally be out of an airport environment of any sort, we took in the beautiful scenery of the mountains and ocean. We were just shy of the most southern point in Africa. It's kind of cold.
Good morning, ladies.
I can't believe we're doing this, but we're doing it. Day 2, Gansbaai, South Africa. Dear Journal, you'll never believe what happened today. At the crack of dawn, we got ready to head out on a modified boat that is specially designed for shark diving and whale watching. Guess which of the two we did? That's right, shark diving. You can probably imagine how nerve-wracked some of us really are at this moment in time. But the scenic views were actually rather calming.
Yeah. Hi guys. Good.
This is going to be by far the craziest thing we've ever done today. Right now.
Can't wait!
I'm not cold anymore, but I'm terrified.
Alrighty guys, when you're getting in the cage, turn around, face the boat, put your arms, both hands on the rails
That's it. 1 foot back into the cage. And climb down like a ladder.
So just by sheer luck, we were chosen as the first group to get into the cage. Even groups after us seemed rather ill-intent on getting in themselves. Let me tell you, it was the most nerve-wracking experience heading up to just before heading into the murky abyss of the unknown. But as soon as we jumped into the cage, it was actually one of the coolest experiences we've ever lived. Not surprising in the slightest. Once we got into the cage, the water was as cold as heck, and me being in a wetsuit as well as in a shark cage for the first time ever, it was all a genuine shock to me. But that all changed as soon as the sharks themselves arrived. The sharks themselves, species being bronze whaler, swam so close to us in some instances, it was actually quite scary at times, but really riveting at the same time. It seemed as if it was unreal. Everything was happening so fast. The freezing cold water, the chum and fish heads being thrown in, and the sharks themselves, of course. I'm truly glad I decided to jump into that cage today.
Hello. Welcome back. Toby, come on, shut side.
After about 15 minutes worth of underwater shark encounters, we got out, dried off, and observed the animals from the deck. There were gulls everywhere, and a stingray showed up as well, including 5 bronze whaler sharks. The land out here is very scenic, with its monolithic mountains reaching for the sky. The sun came out finally after being dreary for the time we've been out here. Seemingly, we left as soon as we arrived, and headed back to the dock, leaving behind the shark cage for other boats to hook onto later in the day for more shark dives to come. This has been an exciting morning, to say the least. It's hard to believe that for us, the trip has only just begun. African penguin and seabird sanctuary. Heading to our next destination, we stop by briefly at the African Penguin and Seabird Sanctuary to learn more about the causes of the African penguin's endangerment, as well as what has been done to save the species from extinction. This bird used to number in the millions at the start of the 20th century, but due to human interaction, their numbers have dwindled to a very dangerous level. So in an effort to save Africa's only native penguin species from extinction, lots of conservation efforts have been popping up in recent years to help bring their numbers back to a more sustainable level. These birds are too adorable for us to let them go extinct. I applaud the efforts of this sanctuary for helping a species from dying out.
Oh, this is really pretty.
Trish, are you doing a panorama? Yeah.
After a little more of traveling down the road, we make a pit stop in the town of Hermanus for lunch. But before we did that, we decided to walk around for a little bit to see the sights. By chance, after encountering a few rock hyraxes by a rock wall, we stumbled upon an old harbor that went by the name of Old Harbor Museum, where it seemed like something out of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Very, like, Pirates of the Caribbean vibe down here, isn't it?
With its turquoise-ish water, its beautiful view of the ocean, its stone walls and stairs, and hyraxes scurrying about, it was a breathtaking sight to see. I myself got up close to a particular hyrax who didn't seem to mind me being so close. Who knew they were found near the coastline as well as out in the savannah? Amazing discovery indeed.
Alright, so here's my friend the Hyrax. And oh, he's gone now. Never mind.
After a good meal, we then made our way back to Cape Town, where the drive there was just as scenic as the destinations themselves. The city itself is like a mixture between Manhattan and San Francisco, nestled between two mountains and an ocean. It sparkles in the light of dusk and spans for miles. A beautiful city indeed. We got some cool stuff happening tomorrow, but I'm not sure in which order. So until then, this is Ian, signing off.
Alright, so our
If you
guide
push
Clint,
it over to video, you can
before,
get a video.
well actually we just got out of the airport area, but this guy's car broke down just in front of us, so now he's helping him pushing it off into that lane there so he could, you know, so we can get out of here finally.
Who has the
'Cause
best
we've-
guide ever?
We've been in
We
an
do.
airport environment
All
for
right, all right.
3 days, so yeah.
You have to let me have that,
Well,
please.
That was a good first documentation.
Oh
That's a Mercedes. Hold on.